Today, the U.S. Supreme Court allowed the Trump administration to ban transgender troops. That's going to be the main topic for this conversation today. And I'm hoping to get it across that this is just, I don't know any other way to say it. It's an evil thing. And he's trying to set fire to everything that is LGBTQ plus all the alphabet letters across through there. And he's doing everything in his power to follow along and actually put Project 2025's policy document on steroids. So let me just flip back over and you can see me right now. But anyway, so welcome to the Path Forward. This is Tuesday evening, and it is, what is today now? May 6th, I think, yeah, May 6th of 2025. And oh my gosh, we have something to talk about today. I'm going to try to stay calm until I don't. Just so you know. Okay, so here we go. We all know already, it's been all over the news everywhere all day long that the Supreme Court, without giving any opinion or anything like that, basically what they did was they lifted the stay on the ban so that the ban can go forward and the Trump administration can proceed with the ban of transgender troops across all of the military. And as Aaron in the morning with Aaron Reed reported earlier too, that this basically is, the whole thing was they called these transgender troops dishonorable for living their lives. And how ignorant is that, folks? That's just asinine, stupid, crazy. I don't even know how you get to that point, but that's what we're dealing with in today's, I don't know, Christo-fascist world that we're in right now. And it's not just Christo-fascist, it's Muslim fascist as well, because they say the same things. Okay, so it doesn't matter the religion, it just happens to be the dominant one in the U.S. is Christo. Okay, and so they're the ones who are motivating all this stuff. It's coming from Pete Hegseth and his bunch, his religious beliefs. It's coming from Vance, J.D. Vance, a relatively new Catholic and more of a radical Catholic than anything. It's coming from all kinds of these people over here, like at the Heritage Foundation. You got Kevin Roberts, who is obviously also, and if you don't know, he was president of a Christian university. So, yeah, we've got all these people who are trying to take over the whole of the government and impose upon this nation their views regarding your religious faith, your way of expressing your faith, and their interpretation of how they think you should be doing it too. Because it's, don't think this is just about one thing. No. They all follow the line with Matt Walsh. If you all don't know who Matt Walsh is, you can check him out. He's got all kinds of, he's an ultra conservative podcaster and has got a large following, but he'll tell you, it's explicitly states in his line, in his little introductory bio, that he is a theocratic fascist. The other people out here, Hegseth and Vance and different ones and Roberts, they are too. They just don't have the balls to do it, to say it out loud to everybody else. So I'm going to tell you the truth about this. These transgender troops are some of the best people in the world serving our nation right now. I know many of these people, folks. They're good, hardworking, dedicated people who have given of their lives to this nation. I've got a fighter pilot, commander in the Navy. Got another one who is a colonel in the Air Force, who's a space scientist. Got one who's a commander in the Navy, who happens to be, who was put up for a position of running dental services or something like that. Trans people in the military, doing their job, doing it well, all honorably. And you have Hegseth and Trump saying it's dishonorable for them to live their lives as they have defined it to be. It's the height of arrogance and stupidity. It's an ideologically driven piece of crap that came out and was pushed up through from the Defense Department by Hegseth to dismiss these people under Trump's tutelage and guidance, obviously, and who follows what Paula White and Kevin Roberts all say. If you know, Paula White's the person who runs the faith office in the White House. Yeah, that one. Yeah, so this is what we've got, folks. The order was lifted. The order that banned or that stopped the ban from taking place has been lifted so that Trump and Hegseth can kick out transgender people out of the military. And the United States, and we have spent years and years training and giving these people the tools and the power and the authority and the skills to be able to do their job well, and they are doing that job well. And here we are we're kicking them out. And all the court said was we're going to let it go through the court system up to now. We'll come back. So 3 of the justices said, or basically stated that they weren't going to go along with that, the lifting of that stay. However, the rest did. 6 did say it was all right. Go ahead and kick them out. Well, once you get out, it's harder to get back in. Okay, so yeah. So here's what I expect to happen. Years down the road from now, they'll be reinstated with full back pay. How do I know that? Well, because this is just an asinine, obviously bigoted decision. It will take a long time for this to get back and be right and be corrected. It will take a long time for that to happen because of the composition of the Supreme Court. But the other part of this is we do know that the COVID-19 people were brought back in if they wanted to come back into the military, right? They were dismissed because they didn't get the shot for very unscientific reasons. But they were kicked out for that and didn't get that shot. Well, now they've been offered a chance to go back in. And many of them have. Some of them have, I should say. Not all of them. So down the road, we can expect that the COVID-19 precedent as being the precedent to allow all of these people who are being kicked out today for purely ideological and purely hatred and just complete misunderstanding and misapplication of whatever it is they found all this stuff in to go after them. So they have to reinstate them and give them back pay. So I hope that whoever might be listening, I know there's a lot of people who do this drive-by views of all my shows. That's what I'm calling it, the drive-by. They drive by, they don't click on anything. We can go down and put a chat comment down inside there, wherever you are, and just comment on something. But this really is a horrible thing that has happened today, because these are some highly trained people. It just gets all over me that they are being dismissed simply because of who they are. Has nothing to do with their service, has nothing to do with their ability to do the job, has nothing to do with their lethality. None of that is impacted by who they are. No way. No. We've got, I mean, there are some trans men who are MPs in the military who you wouldn't want to run into and have trouble with. No, absolutely not. There are space scientists out there who can run circles around most other people in the field, who are leading troops, leading their guardians, leading their teams, and being an advocate too at the same time. The other person who runs Sparta, Commander Schilling, fighter pilot, U.S. Navy, brilliant person, extremely nice person too, by the way, and lethal. Fighter pilot. She's been on long enough now where she's actually leading sailors because she's in the Navy. So we're kicking out good people. You have to train someone else to do that. And you'll miss all of that knowledge and experience and wisdom that they have acquired and accumulated over their many years of service to this nation because they care about the nation. But yet, Supreme Court said, Oh, Trump, you can go right ahead and kick them out. We're waiting for the rest of the stuff to come up through the court system so that we can give a proper opinion on this. That's what this thing boiled down to today. That's really all it amounts to. They were just saying, go ahead. We're not going to get in your way. What they should have done was kept the stay in place. That makes more sense. However, by lifting that stay, they're telling us basically how they're going to rule when the opinion actually does get to them and they have to decide on it. Or the case does get to them, I should say. And it's baffling to me. Why do people hate on, they call it love sometimes, but why do people do this? It just doesn't make any sense to me. These are, oh my God, I've said it a dozen times. I'll keep on saying it. These are good people causing no harm to a single person, living their lives. They're not hurting anyone except, well, the enemy. If and when that situation arose, if it does, they won't get that chance now. They're going to be kicked out summarily. Hegseth just, he's got something for those trans people. I don't know what it is. He's got something going on there. I don't know if he does or not, but sure seems like it. I know his religion is definitely the crux of this stuff. And, I don't know. I'm so disgusted by it. I don't even know where to go from this. But we've got to have a path forward, folks. We've got to know what to prepare for. Now, how is this going to impact the rest of the transgender people in this country? And don't let them try to trick you into thinking this is just about trans people. It's not. It's about all LGBT and T people, all of them. This flavor of the religious right has the entire alphabet spectrum of people in their sights. They've been after them since 1950 when they did the Lavender Scare and chased out all the gays and lesbians out of the federal government back then in the 50s because, they were security risk. No, they weren't. They were not. They had to have a reason to fear these people and try to blacklist them. And that got spread around, amplified by, people like similar to, but not the same as the Five or, anything else, anyone else over there on the right side of the spectrum who are going, we don't like those people. Let's see if we can figure out a reason not to like them. When they've never taken the chance to actually get to know anyone who is in this community. They say they do, but it's like saying, hey, I've got a friend down the street. He's black. Ugh. Whenever you hear them say something like, oh, I've got a friend who's transgender. I said, do you really? Oh, cool. So you know them now. So that one experience that you have, that one interaction that occurred maybe once every blue moon or 2 or 3 blue moons, you now know all there is to know about these people. And you have an opinion about that. And that opinion was shaped in your head by people like Jesse Waters and Greg Gutfeld and Judge Jeanine Pirro and the whole shebang there. And President Trump, Pete Hegseth, Kevin Roberts. Now you're going to say they all can't be wrong, can they? Yeah. Yes, they can. And they are. They are wrong, people. But there are so few of us that we don't have enough political clout to be able to shape and move anything without a large, large base of allies and defenders and supporters. And what's happening? We're seeing it all over the place. All of those businesses we thought they were supporting LGBT people and trans people, they're running for the hills, folks. They are running for the hills. Only the ones who have a strong sense of identity and know who they are and know that everyone is welcome in their business, regardless of who they love or how they identify, any of those things. None of those characteristics matter. But yet We have people like Chris Rufo and Matt Walsh who are saying, you're focusing too much on those things. No, they're not. You're just hurt by it because, they didn't have one that said, white only. You want to go back to when we can all shove people we don't like in the back of the bus and make them eat on the other end of the counter and have drink their own water from a different water fountain. That's what they're trying to do right now with trans people, and they won't stop there. It will go after the entire community, entire LGBT plus community. They've always wanted to. It will not stop with this. How do I know? Well, you don't even have to read the tea leaves for this one. You don't even have to be a prognosticator or a seer or a Nostradamus to see what's coming. All you have to do is just look at what they've been doing for decades upon decades upon decades, moving in this direction to shove all of the LGBT and T people under the back of the closet, under the floorboards in the back of the closet, and then nailed down. They don't want to see you, hear you, or have you speak or do anything. And lo and behold, if you are too smart, because they will think that your intelligence level is jaded because of who you are. Why do you think they do not include trans people in their studies that they're doing? Like, I don't know, the one that the Health and Human Services did recently on gender dysphoria in adolescents. There was not a single person on there, as far as we know so far anyway, who had any connection and knowledge of trans people, professional knowledge, academic knowledge. Not a single person. And if they were, we would have heard about it. They're going to take that report and go after every single trans person in the country, regardless of whether it's in the military or not. They don't want you in the public. They don't want to see you. They don't want to have you say anything. And if you are a doctor or a PhD psychologist or a space scientist or a lawyer or an engineer, a civil engineer, or let me see, I was trying to think of another term. I have another friend who is a coal mining engineer who knows coal and power plant generation, who knows all that's inside and out and gets buku's money for talking about it all across the country. A very big expert in all this, and you don't see much about her anymore because I think she may be hiding. But she was very vocal a number of years ago. But she saw the writing on the wall and ran for the hills. She's still who she is. She's not going to hide that part. But what's coming with all of this is an attack on every single minority in this country. The other side feels that they have been left out of the loop of things. They feel like you spend too much time talking about LGBT issues and transgender issues and racial issues and, diversity and all those kind of things. And we just don't want to hear about it. We are a colorblind people. And they're going, we don't see color. I've got a special word for that. Can I say it on air? Bullshit. Whenever somebody tells me that, that's what I'm thinking. You are full of crap. Yes, you do. What are you going to do? You look at a person and you acknowledge who they are and you go, oh, you're white like me, and they happen to be African or Middle Eastern or Chinese or Native American. See, it's not colorblind that they're looking for, folks. The fact that they think everybody ought to be treated like they're. And that's the big problem. They think that they can do everything in their power to do meritocracy only. And that's what you hear all the time. We're going for meritocracy. We only want the best of the best to be with us. Well, let me see. Let's see. Who are the best of the best so far in the Trump administration? Oh, you're talking about billionaires and millionaires. They're not always the best of the best, but I mean, if you say so. We're talking about friends of friends and uncles and aunts of friends, okay? And friends with benefits. Got a lot of that. So when Trump goes through and clears out the federal employees list and he gets his Schedule F reinstituted, he'll clear out the place of everyone he doesn't like and put people in there he thinks he can trust. That comes right out of the list of employees of trained people that the Heritage Foundation worked on last year and part of the year before that. You know, they created this training program for all these people to step into civil service roles under the Trump administration, and then they declined. Then they said, but this is not for the Trump administration. But they clearly said that, and all along the way until Trump says, I don't know anything about Project 2025. I haven't read it. Well, can I call bullshit on that one too? But I don't think he's read it. I think he wants the half a page highlight because he is, after all, a stable genius, right? So the thing that got all this started today was Supreme Court ruling on lifting that stay for transgender troops in the military so that Hegseth and Trump can actually go out there and fire them, can discharge them from service for no other reason than that they are different and that they just want to live their lives, that they know who they are. And that knowledge is a threat to the stable genius in the White House and Pete Hegseth and Vance and, you know, Roberts and all that. So I see a comment down here somewhere, I think. Let me see what the comment says. I'm going to do that, and then we got to close it a little bit, I think. Oh, radicals. Yeah, I see what you're saying at 18 minutes and 11 seconds. 18 minutes, 11 seconds afterwards. So what's the path forward? I'll get to that in just a minute there. I got to get rid of all the ranting and raving like Mark Levin. So let me see what this one says. This one says, so now none of your three pillars of government back human rights. Only rights are those that are like them. And yeah, yes, Carrie, that's what it feels like. That's what it looks like. I mean, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, thinks like a duck, moves like a duck, it's probably a duck. In this case, they are strongly opposed to human rights. That's exactly right. All three pillars of the federal government now do not like trans people and don't want to see them. So what is the path forward, as my friend the Radical Rodent said? Well, I did start to say something about that earlier, but got sidetracked. Well, I'll tell you what the path forward is not. In Boston, at a hotel, a same-sex couple was in the bathroom. One of them is a kind of a butch lesbian, looks very masculine, tall, and all that. I mean, that's the stereotype things that people think that that's what makes you a woman kind of thing, or man, or whatever. Well, this woman, cis woman, and her girlfriend were chased out of a bathroom in a hotel in Boston, of all places. The male security guard said, "You're a man, you need to get out of here." And she said, "I'm not a man. Here's my paperwork." He checked it out and says, "You're a man, you need to get out of here." Well, we're seeing more of that. That's the second major one that I've seen so far. There's many others, I do know that. They just haven't been reported. But like the one down in Lake City of the cisgender woman in the bathroom. Got called out for looking like a man in the women's bathroom. Wow. So, path forward, folks. It's a, this is a tough one. You had better start setting stuff back, preparing to take care of yourself and your family. You had better start taking care of all the medicines that you need. Get your stockpile in place as best you can. Slow down on them if you can do so, or stop if you must or can. Whatever you need to do, get the medicines in place that you need, and then ration them to yourself. And then if somebody else needs them, you'll have it available. Get food stocked up. I don't know what the economy is going to do. And I've never been somebody who's in all these conspiracy theorists and self, whatever that's called out there, hiding and kind of make it in the backwoods and kind of thing. No, but we should be ready. Don't go rush the shelves and all that kind of stuff. The economy will likely turn around, but oh my God, it's going to be rough along the way. I don't even know what stock market did today. I didn't look. But stock up, be prepared, think ahead. You know what's coming. We know it. If you're honest with yourself, you know exactly what's coming, and you know what you shouldn't be doing. Don't put yourself in a place that's going to cause harm to you. And you know, if you are truly self-aware, you know whether or not you can make it as the gender that you want to be, that you believe you are, that you know you are. You know that. And don't lie to yourself about it. Tell yourself the truth. Look in that mirror and say, now don't be so critical that you're going to go out and do some harm to yourself. If that's what you're thinking, call 988. Get some help. But strengthen up yourself. Pull up your bootstraps and tighten up your panties or whatever you got to do, and get ready to walk forward through all of this stuff. You will make it. You will survive. And you will come out the other side stronger than ever. And as people who have been in the military, some of us have not, but if you've been in the military at all, you know what it takes to push through and make it. You've jumped out of airplanes. You've climbed up walls. You've been on the battlefield. You know how to survive and protect yourself. Do that. Again, call back on that. And take care of yourselves, your families, your loved ones, and stay connected with people, okay? Stay connected with people, because that connection is important for your safety and the other person's too. Now, don't go around. I'm going to tell you some don'ts now. You ready? Do not go in places you know you have no business being in. Don't go into that women's locker room and go change if you have still got your junk. Or if you are going into a bathroom and you know, honestly, you are self-aware enough to know that it could cause a problem, go find a different bathroom. Just take care of yourself, but think. Don't put yourself in a place where you become another statistic. And I'm talking about the statistics of people who are doing stupid crap that the right picks up on and says, they put a big spotlight on that one person out of 1.6 million people in the country who are trans, put a big spotlight on that one person and say, look at them. This is an example of what trans people are like. Don't you be that person. Okay? And with that, I'm going to tell you this too before I go. I did start a new little thing in the middle of the day. It's called Midday Muster. And military people will be fond of that name. Veterans especially. Some will. It's midday. Sometimes it can be at 1, sometimes at 12, or sometimes 11:30. It just depends. Trying to get it around that period of time. There's a lot of other activities taking place too. But go over on the website. Go to the website and check it out, okay? That's www.cassandra-llc.com. Talk to you tomorrow. Same time, same channel.